G'day and welcome to Wine Week. I'm Danny.
And I'm Brad.
And this week we're going to have an all-dessert wine special.
Yes, that's right. Something sweet to finish off the night with.
Yes, and what better way to start finishing things off than with a Rutherglen Muscat. Now, this is an All Saints Rutherglen Muscat, around about $20 a bottle. It's a half-size bottle, 375 mils. And look, I don't mind that because, look, I guess fairly regularly I drag the Rutherglen Muscats and Tokays out. And, you tend to have them in fairly small doses, and you might not get through a huge bottle unless you've got an enormous amount of friends over for the night. And look, one of the interesting things about this, it's under the vino-lok closure. We looked at that last year around June with the Henschke that also had the vino-lok. It's great. I love it. You might think, look, a big heavy body wine like a Muscat doesn't need to be perfectly sealed. Wrong. It should have those round notes, but it should be crisp and clean on the palate at the same time, and this ensures that it's going to be like that. And at $20, a brilliant buy.
Yeah, and look, Rutherglen Muscats, anything from Rutherglen that's fortified, jump onto it. I'm going to have a look at arguably the best white dessert wine in Australia, and this is the De Bordeaux Noble One. Now, this wine, some people say this can match it with some of the great sweet wines coming out of Sauturnes in France, the original home of that style of wine. So De Bordeaux Noble One, year in, year out, they're producing a terrific wine that not only is great for drinking now upon release, but it actually does cellar really well too. They've got the balance right between the fruit flavours, the sweetness and the acidity, that you put these down for sort of 10 years and they mellow out even further, turn a nice sort of browny golden colour and drink superbly. This happens to be the 2003 that we've got in our hands here, but the current release is actually the 2005, and it comes in both the 750ml and the 375ml bottles. So, if you're having dinner guests around and you don't think you're quite going to get through a 750ml, then you might look at the half bottle in the 375. But De Bordeaux, probably regarded as the greatest producer of this style of wine in Australia, and with great reason, because year in, year out, the consistency and the quality here is just remarkable. So that's the De Bordeaux Noble One, arguably the greatest.
Yeah, and definitely the best bottle of wine, no matter what you're talking about, that comes out of the Riverina region. So look out for that one. Last one we're going to have a look at. Hey, we couldn't do a dessert wine special without looking at a port. This is a Morris Old Premium Tawny. They probably don't like us over in Portugal using the term port, but look, this is what everybody knows it as, so I'm going to call it a port today. Look, this is around about $50 a bottle because it is kind of pushing up in that classification range. Morris don't do the Rutherglen Grand and Rare yet. They may in future, we'll find out, I guess, but they do their own kind of classification systems, and this sits kind of middle tier. It's not the base model, and it's not the top of the line. It kind of sits in that middle region, and gee, it's just brilliant. I love this stuff. Once you get to this level, you start to see why people regard Morris as one of the preeminent, dessert and fortified winemakers in Australia, if not the world. It's kind of got beautiful kind of butterscotchy, raisiny notes in there. Beautiful with a plum pudding. If you're going to put that together, hold it for a little while, stick it with a cold meal with that kind of big plum pudding finish. Just absolutely brilliant. So grab hold of one of those.
Yeah, and as we said, all three of these wines come from styles that are famous the world around. It's some of Australia's best dessert wine work.
It definitely is, and remarkably inexpensive at the moment. Maybe not in future when people overseas start to realise just how good this stuff is. Anyhow, that's it for this week, and we'll see you again next week.
See you next week.